Learn about the newest digital pathology trends in science and industry, meet the most interesting people in the niche, and gain insights relevant to your own projects. Here is where pathology meets computer science. You are listening to the Digital Pathology Podcast with your host, Dr. Alexandra Zhurov.
Today, my guests are Jared Block from the University of North Carolina and Gabe Siegel from Augmentiqs. So why did I invite them? Jared organized a fundraiser and Gabe donated to this fundraiser. But he didn't donate money. He donated an augmented reality system. And I will let my guests tell you about the details of this collaboration. Hi, Jared. Hi, Gabe. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being my guest on the podcast. Jared, could you tell the listeners a few words about yourself? Where are you based and what's your background? And what is the story behind your fundraiser?
I am a hematopathologist. I've been practicing for 20 years. I work with the Carolinas Pathology Group in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I serve Carolinas Medical Center, Levine Cancer Institute, and a number of other hospitals. I'm an adjunct professor at the University of North Carolina as well, and I am in charge of flow cytometry and transfusion services, as well as providing a lot of hematology diagnostic care.
Mm-hmm.
The last year, well, it's December actually, this year, back in June, I participated in the American Society of Hematology's global outreach program that is facilitated by health volunteers overseas. They had an opportunity for a hematopathologist to teach in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, at the Muhimnbili Hospital. That's the main national hospital. I worked with the hematology fellows and some of the attendings there, and I did interact with some of the pathologists as well.
So you went there. You went to Dar es Salaam.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for 2 weeks, and during that time, I saw that they had microscopes and they had a camera, but they did not have many people that could teach them how to read the bone marrows. And the bone marrows, they're biopsies that are very important to diagnose their patients with leukemia and lymphoma and other malignant and benign hematologic disorders. So when someone is very sick and they think it's a blood-related problem, they need to do a bone marrow biopsy. And then the same fellows look at the bone marrow under their microscope and they make a diagnosis. I spent a lot of time teaching them how to make those diagnoses based on what they were looking at. However, it takes a very long time to get very comfortable with it. So since that time, when I returned, I have taught them over WhatsApp. I'll take a look at my cases for the day and I'll video some of those and talk about the different things that I'm seeing and put it through on a group chat with them. Then they can ask me questions. A couple times they have had me look at some of their ongoing cases to help them with difficult diagnoses. I have offered to continue teaching them and to serve as an expert consultant for their cases down there. But in order to do that, I need something that is more suited for providing ongoing real-time care. Then I decided that in order to do this, since I didn't personally have the money to do it, I started a GoFundMe account to raise some money and purchase what I needed to get to set up a telepathology system. Telepathology allows me to look at what's under the microscope in real time over the internet. So I began raising funds. I raised several $1,000s, and I was able to get a computer and a microscope with a teaching head. However, the one thing that was very expensive, and I was trying to raise more money, and it is ongoing, is the camera system that allows me to transmit things over the internet and help them in real time. And Gabe so generously reached out and donated a camera from Augmentiqs, and I think he can tell you a lot more about that.
Mm-hmm. So Gabe, tell us a little bit about you and tell us, how did you find this initiative of Jared's?
Okay. So I am the co-founder of Augmentiqs. Augmentiqs is a company which I think I could say what we do is digital pathology in the microscope. The idea is that we're able to sort of transform the existing analog microscope, which is just a an instrument of glass and light, and without really changing the workflow or the optical quality of the microscope, enable digital pathology functionality from the existing microscope. And the idea is to do this in a very low-cost fashion, and something that would just fit into like any existing microscope, regardless of which brand. So that's an overall of what Augmentiqs does. And one of the software, one of the applications which we're able to do with Augmentiqs is telepathology. In addition to many other software applications, and basically it's any type of, since we're essentially connecting the computer to the microscope, any type of software application could be run directly from the microscope. Telepathology is one of the first applications which we developed, and it's found pretty good use among different pathology labs, whether it's toxicologic pathology or clinical anatomic pathology, or whether it be for things like peer review or frozen sections, consultations. We've always felt, me and my partners and I have always felt that one of the greatest things which Augmentiqs could enable is to improve care in developing countries, because we're a low-cost solution and we fit into existing microscopes. The ability to the idea just like send our system out, put it onto the existing microscope, and now sort of give these areas which are so far removed from modern healthcare, and to enable them to access basically the cutting edge technology from a very low cost. This is something which we've always wanted to see happen. It's one of the goals of Augmentiqs, to be able to provide this. I think many people would fear sending or giving any type of donation, especially a piece of equipment, to just any hospital. Say like, okay, well here's a hospital in a country in Africa, and to send a system over as a gift. That would I would find that pretty scary, because most likely it would never be used. It would just in a room somewhere, and no one would know how to use it. That it worked out that we were able to be in touch with Jared, and the campaign that he was doing. It really all came together. That here was a pathologist who really was doing pro bono work. He had the ability to not only to be able to do the work with Augmentiqs, but also to be able to, in the future, to train the pathologists in Tanzania on the system. So it really was just like a perfect setup, and it worked out great that we were able to donate it.
I can very much relate to the fear of giving a gift to someone who's not going to use it. And that's probably what happens with many things that are donated without having a collaboration established before. So where did you meet with Jared? How do you know each other?
We just met online. It was on LinkedIn. I saw the post that Jared was raising funds for the campaign, and we got in touch to explain our system, and one thing led to another, and we decided that it wasn't only, of course, it was one of the things that we always wanted to do, and within our founders and within the companies, that we wanted to do charitable work and to be able to give back to the different communities. But there were a number of other factors that also went into the equation. It just all worked out that making this donation was where we got to.
Mm-hmm. So you basically didn't donate money, but you donated the most expensive thing that Jared was hoping to fund with his fundraiser.
Correct.
So, Jared, what's left on the list that you have to buy to have a reasonable setup to keep doing what you're doing?
Nothing. I've got everything I need. Right now, I'm just working on getting things through customs and taking everything down there. I've got actually 2 microscopes now, one with a teaching head, which is a double-headed scope. And I have all the objectives I need, and I have the computer. I think it's being delivered today, as long as someone is there to sign for it. And the camera was really the thing that I needed the most, and that was going to take the longest time. Mm-hmm. So once I got that, I had enough for a new computer. I got a pretty high-end computer from Dell, and should be able to run the system just fine. And I'm going to be working with Gabe and other people at Augmentiqs who will be teaching me to use it properly. And it was definitely one of the most exciting things I've had happen. The whole project, this is the first time I've done something philanthropic that actually being driven by me and not just donating to somebody else to implement things. So this has been incredibly exciting, and to have Gabe's company as part of it is tremendous.
And are you planning to visit again?
Yeah, I'm going down in July, and I've got everybody down there has seen everything that's come in. I've sent them videos of unboxing the camera and pictures of the microscopes, and then I send them specs from the computer. They're all amazed and extremely excited, as am I. So I'll be getting down there for a week again I think it's July 27th, and I plan on spending my time setting things up, teaching them more, and I'll continue to do so once I get back. It'll be completely different at that point.
Wow. Congratulations to both of you on this initiative. And a question. So, Jared, is your fundraiser still ongoing, or you have enough money for everything?
Fundraiser is still ongoing because there are other things I would like to do. There are much nicer microscopes to be had. There's also a young man there that I'm hoping I can raise enough money for, because he is from Rwanda. There are 11 million people there, from my understanding, and they do not have any hematology department at all. He was sent there by the Rwandan government to train and then go back there and start the first hematology program. I'm hoping to get a grant for him to come up and spend a couple months with me at the scope with me learning, and then I will use other funds as things go forward, if I can, to set up another system for him. I told him I would be his consultant, and he's thrilled to have that. But other than that, right now, I don't need much more for this, but it is ongoing, and I know there are several people that are waiting for the first of the year to make significant donations.
Mm-hmm. I will definitely put the fundraiser link in the show notes. And Gabe, what about Augmentiqs? Are you involved in any other initiatives like that, or is this the first time that you've done something like that?
This is the first. We're still a very young company, and this is the first time we've done anything like this. It would be great if our company is able to grow and we're able to continue doing initiatives like this. We'll definitely see how this turns out. One of the ideas that we had with Jared on how to make the most of the system being placed in Tanzania was that Jared would train artificial intelligence in the system, and then as you mentioned before, it's an augmented reality microscope that the system is placed into the microscope, and then while the pathologist is looking through the eyepiece of the microscope and they see the same optical plane of the tissue, they're also able to see augmented reality, like a digital overlay on top of the optical plane. So one of the ideas that we had for working with Jared and for the system being placed in Tanzania was that Jared would work on training AI algorithms, and then in addition to the ability to do real-time telepathology from his office in North Carolina, there would also be sort of like a virtual Jared full-time inside the microscope in Tanzania. So this is one of the initiatives that we're doing with Jared, and if this were to work, where we're able to provide really AI in real time as augmented reality for developing countries, so then we would definitely like to see many, many more systems being placed in places like that.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations again on the collaboration and on this initiative. Thank you so much for being my guests. And Gabe, thank you for being my guest the second time. And if the guests want to listen to our previous interview, I'm going to put the link in the show notes as well, where there is a little bit more in detail about Augmentiqs. And I wish you a great day. No, one more thing before we go. So I donated a little donation, but I will wait for the first of the year and make another donation to the project. I love the project, and thank you for doing that.
Oh, thank you so much. And any amounts very much appreciated. And one thing I was going to mention for anyone that does click on the link, I've put videos of me teaching, and you can see what I'm doing, as well as giving updates about what things have arrived, including the camera from Gabe. And you have to go to updates once you're there, and you get to see some of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. For more great digital pathology resources, visit the Digital Pathology Consulting website and subscribe to our newsletter on digitalpathologyconsulting.com. After subscribing, you will get access to the free annotation guidelines, which will help you annotate slides consistently in all your digital pathology projects. Talk to you in the next episode.